It does make me cringe. I don't ready for but I do figure it's like ready.
Okay. All right, we'll call this meeting to order. The Town Council meeting, May 14th, 2024. In attendance, Mayor Vernon Condi, councilpersons Clyde Colford, Troy Nolan, and BJ Stokes. Lance Norris is excused. We'll start by having a pledge of allegiance.
Hey, can we be quiet while we say the pledge, please? Some patriotism. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sorry about that. All right, we've got our agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the April 9th, 2024 meeting minutes?
I move to approve the April 9th meeting minutes.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right, can I get a motion to approve the vouchers? So moved. Need a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. And can I get a motion to acknowledge the April financial statements?
So moved.
And seconded.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We need to retire to an executive session to, so can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to move into the executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move to executive session. Back to Mayor. Yeah.
Hey, Al.
Clyde, are you allowed to tell us why you're going to executive session?
What, rather than.
I don't know.
Oh,
We're talking about raises for the 3 employees.
I think they just need
So it's, yeah, it's a money issue, and so we retired.
personnel.
Yeah, the personnel salaries, when we discuss those, we do that right.
Good to know.
Made that clear.
I'm not sure.
Barb, do you have agendas for this?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what the agenda is, what they're talking about, so. Did you have?
Did you hear me by any chance? or-
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh. How are you doing, sir?
You can yourself.
Marvelous. Apparently causing trouble.
I just needed something to sweeten me up.
So what are you gonna grow?
Everything.
Now, greenhouse or outside garden?
Both.
Oh, okay, okay. And name me 5 things that you must do. What have you had success with? Or is this your first year?
Oh, no. I got spinach from last year in the greenhouse. Spinach, carrots, and beets, and now go inside. It's been cold, it's not heated, so it's technically a high.
She didn't have you.
I'm building.
What's he want?
She just has me. Ever.
2 more. Yeah, you got your garden plan? We'll share.
I'm sorry?
You got your garden plan?
We've started. I've got, some more berries in the ground, a lot of berries in the
Oh,
ground.
I'm there.
Gooseberries and huckleberries and something else that I don't remember. Some other weird berry that I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I did that.
Have you grown huckleberries before?
I haven't. This is the first year. But I was overhearing, do you know that my pears are coming in so amazing? I never in a million, about 6 feet-ish. And they're only 2 years old. So
I put it into the kids' hair. Get first prize no matter what.
I'm experimenting with, like, store-bought peppers from, and Steve, started seeding. I'm wondering if you need the grass to or if you can. I'm testing waters.
mine are grafted. So we did through, we've had great luck with nickel now. Stark Brothers, I think is where we're getting our plants.
Are they in Idaho?
No, I'm not actually sure where they are. But they ship. Like, the plants are amazing. They look so good and they are grafted. My cherry tree is enough to explode. It's a cherry stick, but it's got so many buds on it, like, it really is a stick. But it's got so many little buds all over it, like, it's insane. Because bless him, he's the next one that really started, and he's like, no, I thought we were stuck with, like, I don't know, plums maybe, although I didn't like plums, but, so, you know, so we have peaches, we have pears, we have apples. We planted a ton of strawberries. We have the gooseberries and the huckleberries and the raspberries. Is there a berry that begins with a C? I feel like it ran across my brain. You have that feeling when it runs across and then it's gone. No, a fruit, or I'm sorry, a berry.
I'm sure it's not a cranberry.
Yes, not, although I would have, because I wanted cranberries. But we even found a kiwi that's supposed to go out here, like down to zone 3. Which is what we are down by 3, because we're down by the river. Like when I walk the road, I know. Like, it's crazy walking up Appaloosa, especially in the morning. Like, you can feel 5 might be up there, but it's under.
I just got some of the service
I'm not sure what
Service berries are usually included in some for service. They have about 5.
Oh, yeah, you have to see it.
Yes, we had a pair of
I've got plums. They're trees. They've all got to go.
Oh my goodness, I feel like
You're gonna turn on the gear to slow down the flow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Elderberries.
Sure wasn't a C, was it?
What's the word for that?
Elderberries, is that what
Current is what I was thinking.
We'll take it out.
That is the one downside. I hesitate calling it a downside. We have so many feral cats. There are so many more mice, there's so many more rabbits, there's so many more birds. And I'm happy with the trade, but it is a bit problematic. Oh. What is it? Okay. Is it a pleasant? Oh, see, that's what I worry about my dogs. Yeah. My best master. Oh, that's chicken.
Get a motion to second to end the executive session.
I second.
We got a motion to second to end the executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. All right, on to new business. We've had an offer from Verizon to buy out the lease. The buyer offers to acquire a perpetual easement under and around the communication tower located on the premises of 373 Loop Road, Bear River, Wyoming, 82930, and all related assets and improvements, including interests in the Verizon tenant lease and all other property related to the communications tower, collectively the assets, owned by the town of Bear River, in exchange for $115,000 in immediately available funds. As of closing, the assets shall be free from any liens or encumbrances. The buyer will not assume any liabilities or obligations with regard to the real property other than for the period following closing. Our attorney has advised me that there's a couple of things I should call Verizon about and clarify. So should we table this till next month? And, or can we pass this on contingent that Verizon agrees?
You can do it either way. If there's changes that you want, you can pass it, and if they agree, it can go through. If they don't, then you come back and reevaluate, for the next month anyway.
Yeah,
So,
the things, yeah, the things were suggestions, and if they say no to our suggestions, it can still be valid, you know.
Okay.
you still address it in the chair.
Yeah. So, can I get a motion to accept, and to,
I think you need to go over what changes were discussed before you can get a motion.
the changes that,
Well, whatever changes you want to propose to Verizon, you want those clear,
okay,
before you get a motion to accept it, so everybody's voting on the same thing.
okay, so, and we've talked about this before, their offer is for a one-time payment, perpetual easement. There's no time limit, it's not a 30-year thing. And, Mr. Stout has advised me that if you do that forever, then, you know, essentially you're selling it, and they can do what they want with that.
And state statute prevents the town from selling property without going through some steps and of finding certain benefits to economic development. So I think either you say rather than perpetual, we cap this at 40 years. Or if it's kept perpetual, I suggested that there's a clause that be put in there that says if this is not used for the purpose of communications tower for a period of say 5 years, that the easement can be taken back or removed.
And I think abandonment should be part of that deal too. Abandonment, because if they change the satellites, we got the tower sitting up there for the rest of our life, now it comes on to us to disassemble and abandon.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we were discussing, and it doesn't even have to be the tower sitting there. They can remove the tower and it still blocks that land from being used for anything else with the easement. So even though it's a piece of government land, it's no longer generating any type of tax revenue. When you do an easement and allow them to put that up at least the personal property of the building is generating some kind of property tax revenue. But if they take everything down, you now have a piece of land owned by the government that generates nothing and can be used for nothing, because it's blocked. So I agree with you. You should have either a sunset clause, an abandonment, or fail to use for a certain period of time, or a combination of those two that you should present, because otherwise, down the road, it just might make it a worthless piece of property. You can't do anything about it.
So the three things you're suggesting, I clarify with Verizon: a 40-year cap instead of perpetual. 5 years, they don't use it, what? It ends
It's
this
considered,
year.
to use his language, it would be considered abandoned if it is not used for the purposes set forth in that, for 5 consecutive years.
Yeah.
Or some type of period that everybody
And
understands.
the third thing is who pays for reclamation? Who pays to chip out the concrete pad and take the tower down, right?
Yeah, because when it's not used, now, that could be $100,000 bill to pull that down. They don't know.
Okay, so I'll clarify those three things with Verizon. So we better table this,
Or you can say, we'll pass it and accept that if they say, okay, to something clear, this, and this. And we can put that in.
okay.
And then if they say no, then it just comes back anyway. And I have to reconsider. But I think we're walking a fine edge with selling this property and not calling it a sale. I think you're almost better off to say, we'll consider that and we're going to sell the property.
Okay, so,
And then we'll have to jump through some public hearings, make some findings before we can sell it directly to the individuals.
so make sure I say this right. We're gonna vote on signing the letter of intent for Verizon contingent on, I'll call them tomorrow and clarify those three issues that we just talked about. And we'll sign it tonight, contingent on Verizon agreeing to those, but I'm satisfied with the answers that they give me to those three questions. Is everybody okay with that, the way
I would say,
I think you should say-
in writing first, and then sign it.
Yeah,
Because if we sign it and say, okay, it's a friendly contingent handshake, then.
Yeah, I think you can discuss that with them, but I think we put it, so adding a 40-year term, not perpetual.
5 years of no use, you gotta take it down, it's abandonment.
You better define no use.
5
Yeah, because
years.
they could walk on there, open up the door, and that's used.
Oh, I see what you mean, so,
Yeah. They would come in there once a year, or once every 5 years.
so have them define. Between the two of us.
To its original intent.
Okay,
Said abandonment costs, because if it's all permanent, they can bring in a whole bunch of other equipment. It could get expensive.
And what if they decide to tear that tower down and put something else there? If it's a perpetual agreement, they got it. And that's essentially commercial ground that's getting used with the town of Bear River on it. And you're not getting tax revenue at a commercial rate.
yeah. I talked to him about that, and he said, it's the easement, it's just the easement, it's not the property and changing all kinds of stuff. They're just paying for access to the tower that's there.
But you're giving them access to the ground.
Yes.
Right?
Well, this says, what's under and around the tower.
The ground is under it.
Yeah. But it's just access to it, it can't change anything.
Doesn't say that.
It's,
So I thought you said they could change it anytime they wanted to. They could make
No.
upgrades, they could change.
the only thing they can change is the contract. They can cancel the contract anytime they want.
But we're talking about equipment changing.
Yeah, and,
Okay.
If you want to table it and talk to them, because that's the other thing, we probably need some kind of description of what they want for the easement, rather than under and around. Yeah, how far around are we talking about? Are we talking about the entire block that it sits on? So we don't probably need that, but you can certainly float those other things. Perpetual, and I think you can say, we're afraid that this is going to violate the state law and cause problems in the future. So we need a time of years, if it's an easement placement and the abandonment language for use. So,
Well, I'm concerned voting on it now at this point, just because there are so many questions, it's too dangerous to vote on something like this right now.
so should I have them call you, Taylor?
Well, I ought not be the one negotiating this. But you and I can sit down and put things together.
Okay.
Based on this conversation.
You can carbon copy it in emails, and whatever you get goes to him, and then you guys can discuss it and then bring it back to us. I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do we have to take a vote when we table it?
No.
Okay, so,
Yes, we do need to vote to table it.
Yeah.
Although in this particular thing, if you table it or don't table it, it doesn't matter. You're going to address it as it rolls up next month. Unlike the ordinance, if you vote to table the ordinance, it has consequences, because if you don't bring it off the table in a month, it dies no matter where you're at. In this particular case,
It's not an ordinance.
it's not an ordinance, it's not a resolution, it's just an item, and you can bring those items up repeatedly. So you don't really, you can call it a table, but it's theoretically it's just being moved to address that.
okay,
Sorry about taking action on this.
Yeah, no action.
I'll just make a note here, no action.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So, item number 2.
I'll make the motion that we appoint Vernon Conley as the voting delegate and Clyde Colquitt as alternative voting delegate at the WAM convention in Pinedale, Wyoming, June 5th through June 7th, 2024.
Motion, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay. All righty, so old business. Approve the second reading of ordinance 2024-02, Town of Bear River proposed budget, fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025. So my question is, the proposed budget that we have is,
Okay, it was on contingent of us signing
yeah, it was
Okay.
contingent on,
so what we'll do is amend the second reading to read that we'll remove it from the revenue, the Verizon Wireless revenue, okay? And we'll put it into the supplemental revenue and withdraw the $115,000 from the general fund. To pass the balance budget
to
tonight.
keep the balance.
Yes.
budget balance. Okay, so,
Okay?
do I need to say that over again?
Yeah.
Okay, so, for the second reading of the proposed budget, so that we maintain the balanced budget, we're not signing the letter of intent tonight. So to balance the budget, we're voting to take the $115,000 out of the general fund in order to maintain a balanced budget for the second reading.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to
So
approve what I
moved.
just said?
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay. Okay, I'm glad I don't have to say that again. All right, now, we've decided to table ordinance 2024-01 an ordinance for the town of Bear River prohibiting the discharge of firearms within the corporate limits of Bear River, Wyoming, and provide designated exemptions. Firearms defined as any weapon which will or is designed to expel a projectile by the action of explosive gases. We're voting to table the second reading of ordinance 2024-01. All in favor, say aye.
Well, I move,
Oh,
I move to table motion, or ordinance 2024-01.
okay.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to table that ordinance. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, ordinance is tabled. The curb and gutter grant, can I get a motion to reopen for discussion, the subject of the curb and gutter grant that we've applied for?
So moved.
To proceed.
Yeah, proceed with that project.
And second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that motion passes. Okay, reports, planning and zoning.
No new building permits, and BJ and I did have a little short discussion about some concerns, or not questions from other people regarding Airbnbs. It's something that I think we need to probably visit in the very near future, because over the last 5 years, I've had several phone calls asking, do we allow them? Well, we really don't disallow. We do have a section in our ordinance that addresses multiple use and multiple dwellings, like duplexes and stuff like that. But we do not address anything about Airbnbs in our ordinance. The city of Evanston limits theirs, and I checked into that. It's to their higher density areas. Some of their low density areas, they do not allow them at all. You know, so it just depends on how you look at Bear River. We are low density citywide.
So short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals, they have allowances for that, but it's in more of a duplex, trailer court type thing.
Okay, that's,
But anyway, it's just something that, right now is not the time to address it, we got enough going on.
yeah,
We got,
okay, that's good food for thought.
that's not good.
So that's, as far as planning and zoning, that's
That's it, that's as far as money is.
about roads.
Starting tomorrow, hopefully it's ready, to try to finish touching up some of the roads that are pretty potholy. And then beginning next week, we are gonna start hauling some gravel, and we're gonna start on corridors. And these corridors is time on rotation. And then I've got to put some more gravel on that woods for it. But anyway, and then with that said, all the roads have been caught up, bladed at least once. The first week in June, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking at doing our major road grading job in Magan. So look for the Magan first week of June.
Okay. All righty. Sewer and water.
Sewer system's working really good. I mean, our solar bees have done their job, they kept the hole in the ice. I do want to bring Xylem, whatever name the company is installed, Exxon,
Excellent.
down before our 1-year warranty is up. I want to bring it down there and service them. Water has been an exciting month. I mean, we've got a pretty bad water break while I was in Casper that Scotty took care of very well. You know, my hat's off to him. And what he was dealing with was something that was put in 30 plus years ago. It was scheduled for the glue pipe. It was in the ground. And we had a customer call and complain about water in the front yard while somebody had run over the curb stop. The Jason meter pit shut it down into the ground while they broke that schedule 40 pipe. Well, one thing led to another, try to get one bad thing fixed and break further up. I mean, he was able to get the water on every day. He worked on it for 2 straight days. Finally got it put together. I'm just gonna say band-aided together well enough to where I went to the Joint Powers Board. We're gonna replace that line from wherever it converts from the 6-inch. Because according to the people that live down there, it was 6-inch, 4-inch, 2-inch. You know, it's just, it never should have been allowed to begin with. But anyway, pretty exciting.
40 years for that long.
Yeah, as long as you don't, you know, really, in all fairness, if you don't disturb it, it would have sat there for another 40 years. But where they drove on top of it and broke it, and when we had to dig it up and it got disturbed.
And just so you know, the Joint Powers Board asked me specifically to thank Scott for the work that he did. The Joint Powers Board was,
I was in charge, I felt totally helpless, couldn't help even.
yeah, he was flying solo that week.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, he did an awesome job.
yeah, really good. So, thanks a bunch.
Oh,
Okay, you got anything for fire, Lance?
I do. So.
Yeah, I don't, I missed the meeting last night, so go ahead.
Okay,
Go for it, Jeff.
We're having an open house June 8th on the Fire Hall 3, which is out on 150. It's free to the community. We're handing out hamburgers and hot dogs until they're gone. We're gonna have some props. We're gonna have a state thing there to show you how fast houses can ignite anymore, obstacle course for the kids, and we're gonna do some high angle rescue stuff. So if you're available, come down June 8th. I believe it starts at around 10. Don't quote me on that, but we'll put it out to the public, so.
Okay.
Anything from economic development?
Just, working through the process on that gun range still. We've submitted our proposal. We went ahead and secured to the Union County Economic Development Board, an engineering firm to draw the plans for that. That's the next step. They're gonna make here in the next 4 weeks, we'll find out what to narrow down. You know, our chances are pretty good. We'll see. I've got some doubts there, just politics. We need to roll that into it. But, no, it's a good plan. John's done a good job. You know, that community did a good job. And then on the other side of that is, we started a committee, I'm the chair of that committee, Workforce Development for Uintah County. Our company has a hard time hiring people. It's amazing how many kids come out into the workforce that don't know how to read the tape. Or start a piece of equipment, or we juggle, but it's real. So we got together with the state of Wyoming, and there's several businesses in town that have got together. If anybody wants to be part of that, holler. And we're meeting, I got a meeting tomorrow again on it. We met once. We had the high schools, the alternative school, the college, because in Sweetwater County, they've got, Genesis Alkaline ExxonMobil will put a training program in place for process operators, electricians, linemen, welders, and there was one more. But if you go through that process and get that degree, they'll hire you. So, but there's nothing in Uintah County for that. I'm trying to get that established here. So there's a lot to that. So that's
Okay, appreciate that. And I probably should have mentioned this earlier. When I told you I had that meeting with the governor's chief of staff and the YDOT director, and in that meeting in February, the YDOT director promised me that he would put the flashing red lights on the stop signs and put up bus stop. So we got the bus stop things. There's a couple other things for signage that he committed, and that stripe, you know, right before the stop to make you aware. And usually the wheels of government turn pretty slow. And I thought, okay, he did a pretty good job, because that flashing red light does, and he said, again, that creates friction. That's what you're looking for. So I sent him an email a couple of days ago, and I said, usually the wheels of government turn pretty slow, but you greased this wheel really well, and we appreciate it. We saw the results on these 2 stop signs. And so I let him know that we appreciated that. So any other items from the floor? If not, any discussion? Okay. And just a reminder, those candidate packets are available. Mark has it for any interest in the 2 town council seats and the mayor. Yeah, mayor and 2. So if there's no other discussion, meeting is, oh, you got one?
I just have a quick one. Since this firearm discharge has become such a big subject, is there any way that we could put it in next month's newsletter? You can find these new ordinances we're talking about at this spot
Yeah.
in the website,
Oh, yeah.
because
It's on the website and
if it's not there and we don't know where to find it,
Right.
and people are gonna get upset because they don't know what the ordinance is.
Yeah. And I can definitely put that in the newsletter.
Without somebody reading it to us, they're taking it, misunderstanding what's being said.
Yes, it is on the website right now.
Okay, but I'm
And
just.
it's always available here at the town office, I've made copies.
Right.
But it's just the first reading, unfortunately.
That was the second, this is supposed to be the second.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, we tabled.
We
Yes.
tabled.
We tabled the second.
Yes, but
Yeah,
I'm saying that's why it's getting, because people don't know about it.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I know.
Very good. Well, I appreciate those of you who do attend, because you're the ones who are informed and not upset, because you're not taken by surprise. I think so. So I appreciate those of you who do. With that, meeting adjourned.
What?